Hello, this is Will from JourneyWallStreet.blogspot.com. I'm here to review the trades made on June 11th, 2012. So, as I wrote in my blog post, I really like what I did today in terms of some of my trades. Although my win percentage wasn't super great, I only really had one profitable trade, four losing ones, and one that would have been profitable had I not been on the way to work. So let me just go through some of my trades and then I'll explain what I really liked. So one of my first trades was in, I guess cat was one of my first trades. So when I was looking at this stock, let me switch to the right time frame. I was looking at it from a 5-minute time frame. Initially, I was looking around this area, I believe, for a potential bounce play. The reason why I chose this area, I believe it was the 60 cents. Yeah, right here. Notice how it was kind of bouncing off the EMAs. My thinking was it would kind of catch it. The 8 EMAs, 21 EMAs would catch it. And if you look on the daily, around that time, 860s or whatever, it was. Let me get rid of some of these lines. It was where the moving average was. So if you look at the 55. Same thing. It was around right here where the shorter EMA was. Same thing with the 34. Well, no, actually, you can't see it from the 34. But so I was looking at the longer time frames, the daily, and I thought, okay, it's going to bounce off the EMAs and potentially keep going. So you see how it failed against the 21, but then I thought it was bouncing off the 8. So that's why I went long here, but obviously it did not work, so I was stopped out for a small loss there. Goldman, I was in this because of a wedge here. So I just got, the EMAs were kind of flat, so I thought one way or another it was gonna have a move, and I was thinking long. And the reason why I was thinking long was exact same thing, kind of bounced off the EMAs on the longer term time frame on a daily chart, and at this time it was kind of catching on these EMAs at the 55-minute, and same thing with the 33-minute. So I thought, hey, it could bounce from there, and obviously that did not work either. So WFM was my next trade. I was looking at this for a potential EMA bounce play as well. Excuse me, EMA catch play or resistance play. So I was just trading down here. It retraced back to the EMAs and then traded back lower. And right here is when it traced back to the EMAs. So this is around the area where I got short. And it just didn't work. As you can see, it broke through, and then finally it came down lower. But I was stopped out already here. Actually, what happened was it opened here, then it traded down lower initially, and that's when I got short. And then it came back up and through, and this same candle stopped me out. And that was that trade. GMCR, so it was weak off the open, and I was looking at it from a 13-minute bar. And you look here, pulled back into the EMAs with a 13-minute inside bar right there. And basically shorted once it broke below that 13-minute inside bar. I really like this setup. Had multiple things I liked. Really weak stock, pull back into the EMAs, and the inside bar right at the apex of a pullback play. Unfortunately, like I was saying, I had to go to work, so I couldn't make the trade. Alright, I forgot where I left off, but as I was saying, I was in this trade because it pulled back into the EMAs, had an inside bar right at the pullback, and I couldn't hold on to this trade because I was on the way to work, and I kind of saw it pull back here into this EMA, but that's when I decided to just set my stop to break even. And once I got to work, I realized that I was stopped out. But had I been at my trading station, I would have seen this 5-minute inside bar here, and would have covered for a small gain. It's not exactly what my target was. I was aiming for the retest of the lows, but that didn't happen. Finally, my best trade today was in CVH. So initially, I was looking at this as a potential EMA catch play or pullback play. It was really weak off the open. All of the healthcare stocks was hit pretty hard, and once it got to the EMAs here, I decided to do a really tight short position with a stop just above the high, and I was stopped out for a really small loss. And with this trade, I was wondering why didn't it work? Healthcare was really weak off the open, so that's when I started to do my my time frame analysis, and I noticed that. Give me a second. Let me add my 200-day on here. And I noticed that CVH at the time was trading above. It dipped down to test the 8 EMA on a daily, and then at the time it was trading at or near or above the 200-day moving average. Then I looked at the 55-minute chart, and I noticed how since the 5th there was rising EMAs the entire time, right? And you see the same thing on the 34, rising EMAs, rising EMAs, rising EMAs. So my mindset just switched to a bullish position because the longer term time frames confirm everything that it is more bullish than it is bearish, even though it was a down day and even though it opened up lower. So that made me switch to the 5-minute time frame, and I started to look for a potential bullish position. So that's when I saw this move here, and notice how it was getting really far from the EMAs, and at this point there was an EMA crossover. So at some point it's going to retest the EMA, so I was just waiting, and it did a very nice 3-bar pullback. It dipped below the EMAs, and then the tail came right back up and through. So I was able to get in a long position at a really good price right there, and I added to it once it broke the high of the previous bar, which is this green bar here, and that's when I added with my stop below 17. On my add, I moved my stop a little higher to below there, and as you can see, it worked out really well. I took some into the high of the day right here, and I took some more into the 50, and my target was actually in the 60s up here, kind of in this consolidation area the previous day, but unfortunately I had my order up, but I didn't get filled, even though it did briefly touch 60. So this trade was really good because I used what I learned about time frame analysis, and I applied it to my longer term time frames, and I changed my bias. I found a great entry point with very nice risk versus reward in my initial entry. I found reasons to add, opportunities to add. I took my profits on the way up, and the target that I initially thought was potential, it actually hit it, although I didn't get filled, and it ended up getting stopped out around 48, right below these, right near these gold candles for the rest of my position. I did everything that I really wanted to do and set out to do, and it really goes to show that I am trying to learn and adapt my trading to fit this type of education. Because if you look at my losses, including the initial one, I mean, if I could keep my losses around $30-$40, and if my wins are going to be 150 to 200, then all I need to do is kind of take only the best trades instead of taking every single trade out there. And if I do take one of those other trades, make sure that it's for a reason. Make sure that it's just not to trade and it aligns with the longer term time frames. And if I can do that consistently, then I'm going to be a pretty good trader. All I need to do is just develop consistency, the routine, and all that good stuff, which I've been working on every day basically. And that's really it. In terms of tomorrow, FNSR reported, and this could be in play tomorrow. GAME also reported, or something happened to it, but it's too low. KORS reports tomorrow morning, so that should be in play. And of course, any other in play stocks my trade ideas will alert me for. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.